says it's connected, but it's just like a blank screen. It's like a black screen. Low latency, normal latency. Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. Ready?
I'm good.
Hello, and welcome to another try at another episode at This Is Our Year.
Take two. What's up, guy? What's up, Mike?
Doug, what's going on, man? It's a nice shirt you got there. What does it say?
Yeah, love shit. Check this out. It's our year.
Maybe this is our year.
Maybe. I love the baghead effect, and obviously the colors, because this can apply to many teams that we know and love. And but it's fitting for the Mets. We are officially back to maybe status as of right now.
Maybe status. I think
hell yeah! I think safely into maybe status.
Best way I would describe it. So good use of words there, Douglas.
Maybe the best, when we go out on a limb here, but maybe the best position they've been in since the deadline 2 years ago when Billy Epler fell on his face. So cheers to that, man.
Do we want to talk
about hold on. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Are you drinking a twisted tea? You're drinking
not only that, and it's extreme. 8%. So yeah, here's today's indignity. 24-ounce can. I grabbed this for a reason. My sister's husband, Dave, used to do the New Haven to Grand Central Metro North commute all the time. And I did it once. I went down to the city once from like Wilton in long time ago. And I do remember those train beers on the way home. Sure you do too. I would kind of way back then swear by the big oil can, because you just had to buy one. Right. Just sit with it. But Dave swore by these twisted teas. I don't know about the extreme, but in his honor, I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna take the jump.
Cheers to Dave.
The twisted tea plunge. Cheers to Dave. And cheers to you not drinking on it at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. 8 a.m. It's a little weird that you're not, but
how is it?
It's extreme.
It's extremely.
It tastes like twisted tea. This is technically a malt beverage with tea and natural flavors. It's delicious.
I think we talked about the Arizona tea ones last week,
right? This is kind of on theme lately.
Yeah, and they definitely, because you drank one, right? And I told you the story of when I went and I met the guy who sold them or whatever. He was a sales rep, but yeah, they said that theirs was straight tea and alcohol, and I was like, that's better than a malt beverage, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Malt beverage.
I couldn't define a malt beverage, but I know we enjoyed them in the 90s.
We still enjoy them now. I mean, pretty much all the seltzers are malt beverages. They just don't call them malt beverages anymore. It's basically the dregs of the bottom of the alcohol that they then mix with other flavors to get you fucked up. Yeah. But it's not like, can't be classified as anything specific, right? So it's not vodka.
So 40s can be made of anything, you're saying? That's just leftover.
It's like the hot dogs of fucking alcohol.
Oh, I like that.
Think of it that way. Hot dogs.
I like that a lot. The hot dogs of alcohol.
I had a hot dog yesterday.
We're both American. We're not going to fuck with hot dogs here.
No.
But
let's talk about hot dogs. We did just
why not?
And they just did the first, Nathan's hot dog eating contest without Joey Chestnut, who was like the 9-time reigning champion, because he signed a contract for some like vegan dogs or some shit, and so they, it was.
They disowned him.
Yeah, dude. Like,
holy shit.
He signed a spot. I mean, come on, dude. You're a professional eater. It's not like you have all these opportunities for marketing, right? Like I think I seen Joey Chestnut did one commercial for something.
Maybe.
And it was
household
terrible.
name though.
He is a household name. He is the guy that made put it on the map because he took out Kobayashi, right? And
Kobayashi, yep.
Was able to beat him, and then they still have the fucking hot dog gate where did Kobayashi throw up back into the beer and then just keep going? Or did he not? And it's pretty clear, but they don't have VAR on hot dog eating.
It's up there with the Tuck rule. It's just going to be a legendary bar argument forever. Did he throw up back in the beer?
You sure did. You sure fucking did.
These are high-level athletes we're talking about.
Yes.
We don't want to go over our heads speculating about throwing up back in our beers, because you and I don't know. Like
how many hot dogs could you eat if you did a hot dog eating contest? Like if you really tried, right?
God.
No training.
How many hot dogs could I eat? Like the Nathan's kind, right? And I have to do the bun, but like nothing else. Yeah. And I actually don't mind eating them like that. I'm a weirdo. So I guess I could. I guess I'd start feeling like shit at around 4 or 5. Yeah. I'm not gonna pack my stomach like that anymore.
You're a bigger, taller. You're not like wider.
I'm pushing 200, which I shouldn't be doing, but yeah.
Okay, well, we weigh about close to the same weight, but you have like 3 or 4 inches on me, so
it's my giant noggin. Yeah,
there's more room down there, but
yeah, there is, but yeah.
But no, dude, I probably couldn't do more. Like I had 2 yesterday, one at lunch and one at dinner, and I was good. Like the thought of eating 67 within like, what is it, 2 minutes?
Oh no, yeah.
Like I couldn't do any of this shit. But why on earth would I want to? It's actually crazy. But yeah, this guy fucking he wasn't in
for the money, power, respect. That's why.
Yeah,
Joey Chestnut, baby.
$30,000 check now.
Yeah,
go throw up in your trailer.
I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. I heard he's a horrible person, a terrible asshole in real life. So
I mean, he fucking looks like it. He looks he looks like you. So we share a mutual friend, and I've always made this comparison, but maybe you'll agree or disagree. But Jason Gene Hop is fucking Joey Chestnut's doppelganger. They look like they're brothers.
I could see that.
And so I call him Joey Chestnut. Every year when the hot dog eating contest would come out, I would just say,
maybe if you combine Hop with Paco Fabian and just mash them together. Another blast from the past. I hope you're doing well, Paco.
I think he's
something like that.
Like Staples men's basketball team or something.
What? He does.
Head basketball coach somewhere in
at Staple. No shit.
In the FCX, right?
That's pretty high profile, and good for him.
Yeah. So also, I don't know if he still is, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah, he was always into that stuff.
Dude, that's what I wanted to do, and I still want to get back to the hot dogs here. That's what I wanted to do, though. I wanted to be in sports. You know this very well. And I just you gotta love it, man. And I love it, but I also
gotta debase yourself, right?
I
basically.
Yeah, you gotta work for free for a long time to or at the poverty level for a long time.
Yeah, sleep on couches
or get shitty apartments, and you're grinding, dude. Like I'll never forget the year that I worked for the A-ball Lynchburg Hillcats, who were the Pirates A-ball team at the time. And I mean, I fucking was an intern. I got paid $200 a week, whether I worked 100 hours or 5 hours.
Right.
Didn't matter. It was obviously slave labor because I was an intern. And it was like, okay, a typical day was if we were at home game days were the worst. Home night games were the worst because you came in the morning.
Yeah.
You started the day by doing your marketing calls and you're trying to make sales. Then around lunchtime you'd break and then you'd head out and you'd check with the field manager to make sure everything was okay. Then you'd go up, the grounds crew to make sure they didn't need help with anything. Then you'd fucking run up to the press box and you'd set the press box up for the game. And I mean, it wasn't a big press box.
And then you got to throw BP, and then you got to be the mascot.
You did have to be the fucking mascot.
You were the mascot, right? I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Yeah, dude. So then you had to be the mascot. You only had to be the mascot if the mascot called out sick, and that happened. I mean, think about the guy that wears the fucking mascot. Like that guy called out sick quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
speaking of throwing up back into your beer or your suit.
Back into your suit. Oh, dude. Or sometimes typical day, then you'd work the whole game, and you had one of three duties. You were either on field promotion duty, which that was the best because you got to chill and
T-shirt cannon and shit.
Yeah, you got to chill and watch the game, and then you did like the dizzy bat race in between innings on the field. So you got to go on the field. It was cool. But then if you were in the press box, you just ran the scoreboard. That was okay. You got to sit there and run the scoreboard all game. And then the last one was,
I like that one.
That one wasn't bad. I almost got thrown out of a minor league baseball game for putting it together. Did I never tell this story on the show before?
Not sure.
I'm not sure either. So this was back when it was like a 64 pixel like Jumbotron. That was their biggest purchase. It cost the most money for anything, even more than all the players combined, right? And they were so proud of it because this was like a city. It was like a municipal stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia, in the early aughts.
Like obviously the Pittsburgh Pirates don't give a shit, but the local guys did take some pride in the team. Like the owners.
So I wouldn't say they didn't give a shit, but think of them more as franchises. Minor league baseball's changed a lot since. So you could either be owned, so the Mets did a good job in the last couple years under Steve Cohen, and the Islanders did too. They went and just bought their minor league affiliate, and they're just they just run it. They don't, because it used to be every 2 years you'd have to sign in if you remember.
Yeah, a lot of teams still do that.
Norfolk and
and that was a nightmare, by the way, for the Mets, shipping people back and forth from Vegas, especially. Right, that made no sense.
I mean, they just were it was like fucking musical chairs. It was
it was
chairs standing. So that's why that's what prompted Cohen to buy Syracuse. He was just like, fuck it, we're buying Syracuse when they go up for sale, or we'll try and buy them. And he made a deal happen, and now they're the Syracuse Mets. They're never going to be another team unless
poached them from the Blue Jays. They were Blue Jays when I was up there.
Yes, I think they were Blue Jays for a really long time because it made sense. But I think Buffalo is now the Blue Jays minor league.
Yeah, and of course we had Tidewater Norfolk forever, and then the Baltimore
made sense for the Orioles. I mean, minor league baseball. We're going down rabbit holes here, but because I still want to talk about hot dogs, but. It didn't make any sense. And then we bought the Syracuse Mets. And why was I even telling the story? Oh, so there is some sort of connection now, and the Mets do own it, and there's a lot more control. Like when the Pirates were affiliated with the Lynchburg Hillcats, is what they were called, and they're still called that to this day. When they were affiliated with them, you don't I think they pay the salaries of the players, but they don't pay for anything else. Like the stadium and the front office.
It's up to the franchisee.
Up to the franchise is the owner. And I think the owner and the Pirates had some sort of connection, and there's here's what we'd like to see, but it's kind of operated however. So the business of the Lynchburg Hillcats was operated by Calvin Falwell, brother of Jerry Falwell Jr. and
the grift is lucrative, man.
No, it had to be brother. It was Jerry Falwell's brother, original Jerry Falwell.
Screw up brother.
Yeah,
basically. He gets Calvin the baseball
Falwell,
team.
He got the baseball team, and Calvin Falwell owned. I mean, Lynchburg, Virginia is where the Falwell Church and Liberty University are.
Right.
So that family owned everything. You couldn't walk into an establishment, and you couldn't have a bar if they didn't approve it. That's how that town ran, which wonderful place for me to choose to go to college. Thankfully they gave me a big scholarship, and that was the only real option I had to go to. But
yeah, well, hey, we all did our things.
But back to the story.
Oh no, I want to take you off on another tangent because I can't even think of this guy's name, and it's driving me crazy. Who is that quarterback that came out of Liberty 2 years ago and is already faded? Thank you. Willis. I couldn't think of
He's the backup.
Already faded.
Will Levis. Yeah, exactly.
Back up to the Connecticut guy.
I mean, dude, he was playing basically double A he was playing like he wasn't like Liberty wasn't in the.
We were all just trying to talk ourselves into him, though.
It was him and Kenny Pickett,
every year,
and they both weren't good.
And Desmond Ritter, I think, was part of that crew. Maybe
I think so. Yeah, and they're all just not good. That was the worst quarterback class I think that I can in recent memory. I can't think of a worse one.
Yeah, I remember it wasn't even on the table for the Giants, and we had fucking Daniel Jones. So
well, they tried to hype it up like Willis and Pickett could go 1-2. Yeah. Pickett ended up going to the Steelers, which made sense because he played at
like 20 something, right?
At 20, he's already been traded to the Eagles to be their backup, which good for him. He was a nice enough guy. I didn't hate him. And
that's a nice place to land too.
Yeah, be the backup to Jalen Hurts, and Malik Willis is the backup to Will Levis in Tennessee. But they never gave him a fucking shot because I don't think they don't think he could do it. Maybe they can develop him, but yeah, Desmond Ritter's now been traded to Arizona, and he's the backup to Kyler Murray. So
that's right. He went to Arizona. Okay,
yeah.
Back to hot dogs.
No, back to the press box real quick. Then we'll get to hot dogs. So we're in Lynchburg, and they tell me, okay, you're going to be running the press box tonight. And they tell you early in the day. They tell you, okay, you got press box tonight. You got on field, and I forget what the third one was. The third one was maybe I can't remember. It wasn't anything glamorous. Maybe you were running the music. So you either ran the music, you ran the scoreboard, or you ran the on field. And on field was the best because you were just moving. It made the game go by fast. You could see up in the press box.
And probably just actually interacting with fans and stuff, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, like when you were in the press box, like you had to shut the fuck up because you had the radio guy for the Hillcats on this side, you had the radio guy for the visiting team on this side, and you had the fucking PA announcer here, and
you're all probably packed in a small room,
dude. Like, it was like a fucking trailer with no AC in Lynchburg. It was miserable. So one day, they're like, "All right."
You ever watch Brockmire? I always meant to.
No, what's that?
Hank Azaria, minor league baseball announcer, alcoholic. Here, it's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, me too.
Ours was not an alcoholic. He was just he was a super nice guy. He was a super nice guy, and he was probably my age, and he was just like, I'm gonna make. And I think he's the AAA announcer for the Cubs at this point in his life. He's gotten decent, decently up the ladder, and he's probably only 45. He's still got time,
Iowa Cubs,
I think, or maybe the Omaha Cubs. I don't know. Whatever. I'll look it up after the game.
Omaha's Kansas City, I think.
You're right. So we're in the press box. I have time to like fuck around and make a little thing for the screen, right? Like, you could make the in between inning things. And so I made a big Jumbotron thing earlier in the day, and it said, "Open your eyes, ump," and it had a pair of glasses.
Oh wow.
And so he missed a call, and we all had walkie-talkies during the game, right? So he missed a call, guy got, walked, or so, I think he got walked, and I threw it up on the screen and said, "Open your eyes, ump." And the fucking ump takes his mask off, turns around, looks up at the press box, and he goes like this.
You're out.
No, dude, I didn't get thrown out, thank God. But I had.
I would want to be thrown out by an umpire.
I mean,
how cool would that be?
Now, now I wish that should happen to me because it would make the story better. But like my assistant GM, his name was Ronnie Roberts, and he was like the most Southern guy you ever met. He's like, "Hey, get that fucking thing off the goddamn screen right now!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't know, so I just turned it off real quick. And he's like, "Hey," and he calls me down, and he goes, "Curly, get down here." So I come down after the game, and we're sitting in the office, and he's trying not to laugh, right? Because he is a little pissed off too, right? But he's trying not to laugh. He's like, "Hey man, you can't fucking do that shit out. It's already the fucking game." And I'm like, I feel like
that was wholesome, man. Like you didn't do anything.
Like, I just said, "Open your eyes up," and he's like, "No, you can't." Yeah,
you could have said, like, "Get off your knees, stop praising the Lord."
Exactly. All I said was, "Open your eyes." It was very wholesome. Just trying to get the crowd engaged.
Right? Yeah, you're riling up the home crowd.
But dude, he took his mask off. He looked up at the press box and he pointed. And then
that man was Angel Hernandez.
Oh my God! Imagine working in a workplace where you knew everyone
Yeah.
you every day that you went to work. Imagine that, and then just being so defiant about being so bad. Like if I was,
people double down, triple down, quadruple down, right? It's a mark of an asshole.
Yeah. Dude, that guy and Joey Chestnut, they're fucking probably friends.
There you go. Major League.
But dude, come on, man. Like he fucking retires and like I did not feel bad for that guy. He was not good at his craft. He never tried to get better at it, and he never. Yeah. It was just fuck everybody else. I worked my ass off to get here, and I'm gonna take you down with me.
He had union protection, so he took advantage of it. But you're right. He finally stormed off in a huff, and everybody I think was waiting for him too.
Yeah, just put in a fucking. I'm waiting for the. Didn't he already sue the MLB?
He tried to sue them for not getting like a World Series job. I remember that. And everybody's like, dude, like, look at the numbers. You are like by far the worst.
Yeah, literally the worst umpire ever.
But he's like, it's because I'm, Latino, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's because you're
a terrible asshole,
and you're a terrible asshole. Yes. You owe me a drink for Tommy being on screen.
Tommy's a little allergic to the humidity or something, but he's good.
Yeah,
that's why it has little weird patches here.
Oh, well, hopefully
you're a good cat, though. We got a chug. You're making me
get extreme, Tommy. Get extreme.
Making me get extreme, Tommy. Anyway, back to your hot dogs. I think.
Or
you want to talk about how you played Cotton Eye Joe 6 times a day down there?
That literally happened. That happened. That happened that was like the one when you played the music. You had to play. So you had to play like. You had to play like Cotton Eye Joe in the middle of the fifth, like, and that guy Ronnie Roberts. That guy Ronnie Roberts was like, make sure you play that Cotton Eye Joe song. We were like, shockingly, he fucking loved Cotton Eye Joe.
I love it.
Oh God, he was a character, man. He was.
I hear his voice like Boomhauer on King of the Hill.
Yeah, basically. But he was a nice guy, man. He was a nice guy.
So was Boomhauer.
Like we had our GM was this guy Paul. I can't remember his last name. I don't know if these guys are even alive anymore. It was 20 years ago, but Paul was like the guy. Like he ran the baseball ops. He had known how to do this for years. He sat in the back, and he dealt with ownership when they came in, when the Falwells would come in or Pittsburgh came down for a visit. But Ronnie basically ran the day-to-day stuff. He was kind of like the head guy. He dealt with all the interns, and we only had a staff of like 7 people to run this whole entire fucking baseball team. It was crazy, and
most of you were unpaid.
Yeah, 3 of us were interns. So there was like 4. There was the announcer. There was the grounds crew who was also, he was like sales, marketing, and head groundskeeper. And then there was the assistant general manager, the manager, and then there was the sales guy. And that was it. And then there was like this little young kid that was the assistant groundskeeper. He was probably like under 16. He'd come in every day as soon as he got out of school and help do whatever he needed to do. And then there was like 3
cheap labor, baby.
3 interns, and then there was like the game day like operations people that worked the concession stands that they came in an hour before the game and left an hour after. But the worst part about being a fucking intern was that after the game ended, it's a 4,000 seat municipal stadium, and we had to
time to clean it up.
We had to clean the entire stadium every night, and it was 2 guys with leaf blowers just blowing all the garbage to the bottom, and then the other 2 guys were at the bottom shoveling it into bags and then bringing it out to the trash. It was dude, I fucking hated game days because it was a 12-hour day, and at the end you're like, once you watch the game, whether we won or lost, we had to fucking go and clean up the shit. It was so stupid. And then we won the second half championship, and they didn't even give us a fucking ring. They gave none of the interns rings. It was fucked up. Ronnie was like, I'm gonna try and get you guys some rings and see if we can get some proof for those rings. They did not approve those rings for the
motherfucking Ronnie, man.
It wasn't Ronnie.
Was that a dry county because of those Falwell shysters, or
no? They had no problem serving beer at the fucking Hillcats game. But you know what they did have at the Hillcats game, because of your boy Mike Curlin. This is my first ever like realizing I had some skills at sales. So they were like, during the day you worked with Bill in the office. Bill was a sales guy, and he was teaching you how to do marketing. And he was like, call local businesses and get
emergency coffee.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. And get some sales sold, get some marketing sold. So I ended up calling the local Chick-fil-A, and I was like, "You guys want to do a deal with us? We'll set up like something in the outfield. I was like, put some chickens on. You know how Target, sell Chick-fil-A. So anyway, I locked in a deal with Chick-fil-A, the
That's
local
huge,
Chick-fil-A.
Man.
Yeah, and so what
they
ended
were
up
already
happening,
like huge chain at that point.
They were just up and coming at that point in time. Like we had just gotten our first couple in Lynchburg at that point. I didn't even know anything about it. And we didn't have them in Norwalk when we were growing up. So
yeah, no, I mean, I saw them in the Carolinas in the early '90s. So
right, so they started in Atlanta. So they had now they're nationwide and they're like one of the top franchises out there.
Clogging up Connecticut Avenue now.
Hey, got to get that fake chicken now, baby. Got to get that non-human harming hormonal chicken. So thanks but no thanks. I pass on Chick-fil-A now. But they signed a deal with me, and it was like a small deal halfway through the year. I forget what. I think we put something on the foul pole for them, like chickens on the foul pole or something. And
that's awesome.
And then they sold chicken nuggets at the game. But the next year, they opened a food concession stand there because of me. So you're welcome, Lynchburg, Virginia. Next time you go to the game, I'm sure that there's still Chick-fil-A there because I'm sure they make a ton of money. And you're welcome for having better food. You're welcome,
Falwells. Back to hot dogs.
So, Doug, you're a glitzy guy, right? You eat hot dogs. You're American. We both discussed this. What is your ranking of the hot dogs? Like, if you were going to go to the store, what are you grabbing?
What am I grabbing?
Are you just grabbing what's on sale? Like, are you going to eat a Bar S hot dog?
No. See, the thing with me is like I mess with all kinds of tubular meats. I'm a big sausage guy.
Okay.
Any kind of sausage from chorizo to like the German stuff. Sometimes I'm just in the mood for. Nathan, excuse me. Nathan's has their own brand, at least up here still. I've been known to grab those. Hebrew National, very good.
Yes.
What else? What am I forgetting here, Mikey? Help me out with the kinds of hot dogs.
Well, so I have a rule, and I agree with you. I'll eat Nathan's all beef. That's what I had yesterday too.
Yeah.
That's why
my
stomach doesn't feel great this morning, I think.
me both.
Hebrew National is where I typically, if I'm at the store, that's what I'm grabbing.
Yeah.
And now, Whole Foods has a organic brand that's not too shitty that it's all beef that I'll grab if I'm there because they don't carry those.
I was just there yesterday. I get it.
Main brands, yeah, I don't think they carry. They might carry Hebrew National. No, they definitely don't carry Nathan's. But yeah. So if I'm going to eat just a hot dog, those are the typical ones that I'll
I'm trying to like what else could be the answer here? But
I wouldn't eat Ballpark or Oscar Mayer. Definitely not eating.
Oh well, yeah, the more like big American brands. I'm kind of with you. I unfortunately grew up with hot dog boilers. Was Norm a hot dog boiler?
Yeah, Norm wasn't. Yeah. Well, it was weird because Norm did a little bit of everything because he worked in the restaurant business. Yeah. So the way Norm actually would prefer his hot dogs, when we worked at American Steakhouse, which was like a knockoff of Sizzler, and he was the manager there, he would take the hot dogs out of the, the fridge, and he'd throw them in the fryer.
Yep.
And he'd make them like, what did you call those? Rippers? He'd make rippers. He liked a ripper. So Norm would, if he had a choice,
well, I mean, that's the best way to cook anything if you're not worried about dying, right?
Right, exactly. So he'd have a ripper at work every once in a while.
A ripper. I thought a ripper was something else. That's what he called the hot dogs.
I'm pretty sure fried hot dog's called a ripper. Look this up.
This is very new information for me. I'm learning things. A ripper.
I didn't know what a glitzy was until about 2 years ago, and now
I'm still confused on the glitzy too, and that has something to do with the Mets dog, right?
I don't think so. I think glitzy's like just another term for.
Or is that glizzy izzy? Because there's the Chihuahua that eats hot dogs, and we need to talk about all the things going on in Citi Field, I think, at some point in the show.
Let's get to that. Let's define ripper, glitzy. We've already talked about hot dogs enough, and let's move on. 35 minutes in to your New York Metropolitans that are.
The only way I won't eat a hot dog is if it's corned. If it's corned, I will never have another corn dog in my life. I do not want to. I'm done.
Why?
I just had a couple of bad experiences when I was a kid, and I've just never gone back.
Okay, so my wife loves corn dogs, and when we go to Disney, like it's the one wicked treat that she has to have. So
okay,
I don't mind a corn dog, but I will tell you the one place I flew to Atlanta once to go visit Kevin Fissel. I was at JFK. I was starving. I was like 23, and I was like, I'll just grab a hot dog from this Nathan stand off the roller here. It'll be fine. There's no way I'm gonna get sick, dude. I had like.
Why were you so certain?
I was 23. It was fucking. I probably had 1,000 vodka sodas before I got on a plane, and I was just trying to like get something in my stomach so I didn't pass out and have a hangover. I hated flying back in the day too. That was that. So I slammed this fucking Nathan's hot dog, and it tasted so good. But bro, it must have been on that roller for 3 days because it just took forever to go through me, and it hurt every inch of the way. And the worst part was I couldn't even fart, dude. Like it was like I was all backed up.
You were fartstipated?
I was fartstipated. And so 6-7 years later, same fucking thing. I'm at the airport, same JFK, and I'm like, there's no way this happens to me twice. Like, what are the odds that it's gonna happen to me twice? So I ate another hot dog at JFK, getting ready to get on a plane. And the same fucking thing happened. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. Like,
that's the universe trying to teach you.
Yes.
Learn, my son.
Learn, you fucking idiot. So I don't do airport.
The universe frowns upon you.
Roller airport hot dogs. And I don't do, if it's not all beef, get those lips and assholes away from me. And no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. If you bust
I have one.
If you bust out the bar S at a barbecue, I'm leaving.
I don't know what bar S is, but good to know. I have a natural weakness for food court Chinese food. I can't resist it. It always kills me, but I always like, as soon as I see it, my brain's like, you're getting that.
Okay.
You're making that plate, that like orange chicken combo with the sesame or whatever.
With the lo mein.
And like or fried rice maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then get on the plane, which I've done many times.
Oh, dude. Oh.
Business life is hard, man. We're tough guys.
Yes, we've lived through many a stomach pain to fill our
Chicky and Pete's at the Philadelphia airport.
Oh, dude, I ate there. I don't like many things from Philadelphia, and I like cheesesteaks. If you get it at the right place,
you can't fuck with cheesesteaks, man. Yeah,
you can't fuck with cheesesteaks. And Chicky and Pete's crab cheese fries are like one of the greatest inventions of all time. I mean, that's things you don't like, but I think that's what they're famous for. And
right back into the beer.
I ate when I was with my ex-wife. We flew you could fly from Long Island to Philadelphia and then switch and catch a main flight instead of driving to New York.
A little islip express, right? Oh
yeah,
god,
little fucking,
I'm dying here.
It was like a DC-9 like prop.
I've been on it.
It was, dude. It was not. It was like you were like praying to God. It was a 40-minute flight, but you were like, it was like fucking. You ever seen a Major League when they
exactly
the plane and like they're all praying that they're not going to die? Like that was this flight.
It's like crates of chickens in the back.
Yeah, like it's only 22 minutes. It'll be fine or whatever it was.
Yeah,
the whole time.
That's what Aaliyah thought.
My asshole. Oh, dude, Aaliyah.
Oh, too soon. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she fucking... Dude, how did we not know that R. Kelly was a fucking pedophile?
I think we knew.
He, like, married Aaliyah when she was 13 or something. Her parents, signed off on it. I mean, I don't know, man. Anyway, R.I.P. Aaliyah.
And back to the hot dogs.
Fuck all this stuff. Let's talk about the Mets. Let's go. How you feeling, Doug? It's July 14th.
Oh, dude. Here's the thing.
17 days away from the deadline.
Yeah.
And are we buyers? Are we sellers? Or are we threading the needle?
We are everything. This stupid franchise has us on a high again. And I feel like every time we do a show when we're on a high, they immediately go in the shitter. So Mets fans, I apologize in advance, but how can you not be excited with the lineup hitting like this? Obviously, holy shit, the pitching staff is weird right now, but whatever they're doing, it's working. And they've won 5 in a row again. I hate that it's the All-Star break now. I'd like to keep this moving, unfortunately, but hey, win today and you're feeling really good. And you've already actually seen some things happen this week that maybe have shored up the bullpen. I'll let you talk a little bit, but I think the vibes are great. We have like 4 different mascots or memes, depending what you call them right now. Is it all going to blow up in our face? You know it.
Whoa. Don't put that energy out there, Douglas.
I'm kidding.
We're in a good spot right now.
We are. I want us to just remember and just know that
this is the David Stearns era, and
it is. So here we go.
I want to talk about a few differences that I've noticed this year with David Stearns. We got off to a shitty. We had fucking Mendoza. I wanted to fire him after the first game when
he had a really bad first week
when he didn't hit fucking that shithead Rhys Hoskins, who hopefully I won't say anything negative about him, but he sucks. Him and Jesse Winker can go.
Winker got us again, man.
He did get us again, and then fucking gloated. And I'm like, dude, aren't you batting 180? And
he's always on a different team, and you're like, wait, oh no, it's him.
I thought that, and then I'm like, he must be a gigantic asshole too, because it seems like nobody likes him long enough to keep him around. He puts up decent numbers, but he can't get a long-term deal because he's probably a dickhead. And then after he hit the home run against the Mets, and he plays for the Nationals now, I think. Right?
Or the Pirates? It was one of those games we should have won.
Yeah, he hit a home run. I think it was the Nats because he put on like
must be the Nats.
Like Uncle Sam had and like an American flag coat.
Yep.
I'm like, weren't you like how many teams have you been on? And that is exactly what I thought. I'm like, you are an asshole to the Mets, but you just must be an asshole, and everyone must hate you. So you still have to live that life. But I think what you've seen with Stearns that I really have appreciated, and now that I've calmed down and we have 90 games or so under our belt, we're a little more than halfway through the season, games played wise, and we're about to go into the All-Star break, is he's not going to accept complacency on the team, and he's going to try and make little moves to upgrade the fringes of the franchise. We signed Joey Wendell to a 1-year, $2 million guaranteed contract. He sucked for the first month. We got rid of him.
It started around end of May, right, when he started chopping heads.
Yeah, I think exactly.
And that Torrens move was brilliant. That was right in the beginning. That kind of set things in motion.
But think about it. I thought about this a lot yesterday. I actually went on a deep dive on Torrens yesterday. I'm trying to figure out how he
slipped to us, right?
Yeah, I looked him up. He's been a backup catcher, fringy third, between second and third catcher since 2017 between the Padres, the Mariners, and the Cubs. And he somehow was in the Yankees system. I think he originally signed with the Yankees back in 2013. He's only 28 years old. He's out of Venezuela. And we got him for cash considerations from the
Yankees, him for nothing. Right? And he's got a cannon. He was instantly better defensively than Nido. Instantly.
Thank you. That's my point. So for so many years, we were ready to run it out with Nido, who couldn't hit. He's got, I think, the second biggest bat in the MLB behind JD Martinez, but nowhere near the hitting prowess of the guy. And Nido was a fine backup defensive catcher.
Game manager guy, sure.
But he didn't throw out a ton of guys. He never hit.
Yep.
But he was well liked on the staff, right? Everyone in the clubhouse liked him. I think he went to college with Alonso or something. Or they went to high school
or Frankie, or they knew each. They go back.
They all grew up in Florida together. So there's this little tight knit Florida group on the Mets, right? And they gave him a 2-year, $4 million contract to be the backup. And last year, and not that Cohen cares about money, but they were just complacent with the guy being the backup catcher for all
And that
these years.
Narvaez signing was shit, and no one liked throwing to him, and he couldn't hit at all. I mean, that was just a swing and a miss by Epler. I think that was Epler.
Yeah, it was Epler.
We've had so many GMs. Here's the one. Here's real quick, if I can say about Torrens. I think Torrens. Look, Alvarez is the cornerstone catcher on this team, right?
Right.
And I think they still have control for Torrens for a year or two. This is the perfect time to sell on Kevin Parada. He's been hitting a little more, and like, what's the future for him here? I would absolutely include him in a deal during the deadline. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the only thing I think it's still too soon because catchers usually take longer than other players to get better. But if you're wrong and he just is who he is, then you're stuck with this like age.
The way the way I look at it is that he's not going to mess with Torrens defensively. No. He's not at that level. And if he's not hitting like up closer to Alvarez, then you're right. Like you just said, he's kind of like he has no place in this org.
No, and I think
I don't think he's good enough to be in DH. In other words,
no, and I think you've alluded to. I mean, Alvarez is the future, is the present and future. He's 22 years old. That
he could be a star, man. Like
he's on his way.
I love the kid.
Yes, he's a great kid. He's got a ton of power. He's a good defensive cat. He's like, I'm really impressed with his pitch framing that he worked on since last year. Like he looks like he cares. He's trying to,
and he can throw too. I mean, Torrens has got a gun, obviously.
Yeah, Torrens is I think the epitome of what you want your backup catcher to be. He's got a little bit of a bat, but he's got a goddamn cannon. Nobody runs on him, and he can call a good game. So we have no issues like that. To your point, that guy. He's only 28 as well, so you sign him.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have control, and hopefully after that,
I know
3 years down the road on a goddamn backup catcher, but hopefully have a little bit of control. I don't know if we do because he has been in MLB since 17, so that's 7 years. So I don't know if he's.
It's possible, but maybe they work something out. Here, I'll give you another example of a guy who they just maybe are figuring out what to do with, and that's Jose Butto. And I don't know if you saw yesterday, but yesterday he just absolutely locked down the game, calmed things down. I mean, I think Nunez has been great too. I fear he's getting overused though, kind of like Garrett. But back to Butto, you can make an argument that they have a lot of starting pitching and they could actually trade from that. But if we got something here with Butto in the bullpen, I mean, then you don't have to. That's one less Phil Matan you got to pick up, right? Wrong? Right. I don't know.
I agree with you. I don't think we're trading Jose. I don't think Jose Butto is going anywhere. I think what he did yesterday is, everyone's. I'm just going to parrot what I was reading. Like, oh, this is the new Seth Lugo, right? The multi-inning reliever,
right? You could do that.
And I don't know how many days he can pitch in a row or how much rest he needs in between usage. And he threw like 40 pitches yesterday. And by the 40th pitch, he was a little.
But like a Scott Butto day is a pretty good day on the mound for the Mets, if that's how they're planning it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, 4.5 innings from. Yeah, I mean, it was a
and
shame.
2.2 from 4.1, 2.2. You're into the 8th.
Yep. If Scott could have gotten out of the 5th, that would have been nice.
Yeah, he's working on it, man. He's young.
He is. He's young. He's not.
He's prone to the long ball.
Yeah,
that's fixable.
But he has got a fucking wipeout slider though. His slider is.
I'm excited about Scott too.
I've seen it in a long time. Yeah, he's going to be our pitching staff next year. I'm curious. Not that I want to rush, but our pitching staff next year could be very interesting.
Have you seen there's rumblings that Sproat could be a bullpen arm this year? I know that's kind of crazy because I did a double take when I saw it, but scoreless inning in the Futures game yesterday. Kids rocketing up.
And I believe he broke 2 bats as well and had the highest mile per hour to the 2 highest
stay
mile
healthy,
per hour
man.
pitches. Just stay healthy. Like that's been the crux this year. Jet Williams and who's the center fielder that we got?
Hey, Drew Gilbert's back.
Gilbert.
He's on a rehab assignment. He's played like 2 games.
Yeah. Yep. And Luis Angel has not been doing great this year. Still trying to figure it all out.
But with Iggy, I don't think you need to force Cunha this year anymore. The way Iglesias is playing.
Iggy the dog or Iglesias?
Everything. I mean, how do you kill that vibe? And okay, can you for the people who might watch this, like the two people, can and me, because I kind of missed it because I've been watching some of these games on mute. Can you tell us about this dog? Do you have the background on the hot dog eating Chihuahua? Speaking of hot dogs,
I think, is it a Chihuahua or is it a mini Greyhound, Italian Greyhound?
Yeah, I know, right? I was told it was a Chihuahua, but I know what you mean because I was watching it yesterday.
It looks like an Italian Greyhound to me, like the mini Greyhound. I don't fucking know anything about it except it had on 2 days. I've actually been back to trying to watch all the games, and he was in.
Welcome back.
Been in this. Thank you. And he's been in the stand. The dog has been in the stands with his owner the last 2 games.
And he has a Grimace costume, of course.
And he has a Grimace costume, and he eats.
And he ate a hot dog.
Yeah, he ate a hot dog. They fed him a hot dog. I don't know. I feed my dog hot dogs too. So would that be considered cannibalism? I don't know. But
does Harvey eat the entire hot dog, or just gets pieces?
I mean, he can eat an entire hot dog.
Well, I know he can, but
I won't. I'll cut it up for him because my dog is his own worst enemy, and he just acts like a savage when you put food down that he wants to eat. He doesn't really like dog food. He'll walk past his bowl all day and then nibble at it. But if I put a hot dog in there, that hot dog's got about 2 seconds of life left. So,
I mean, can I share some deep thoughts I remembered I had in the late 90s at your house? And I asked your sister this. So again, Mike had this giant golden retriever named Clancy, and he was a sweetheart, but he was like super annoying, like always in your face, pay attention to me. But great dog.
Cockblock City.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, oh yeah, this is the point of my story. I was watching him because obviously he's a dog. He attacks that dish if you put something there. I was like, if you had a room full of steak, would Clancy eat till he died? And your sister was like, yes. I think so.
Yep. Yeah. Clancy was a sweetheart dog.
Yeah.
He shed so much though, and I wouldn't let him in my room, and Meredith would always keep him in her room, and her bed was basically covered in an inch of his fur. He would.
Is that right?
I'm just gonna talk, Doug. You don't have to say anything, okay? But he had a propensity for a few things. He would eat everyone's cigarettes because he knew they were bad and he didn't want you to smoke them.
Yeah.
So he would eat them.
He would.
And he definitely
had to watch.
He ate my pack of cigarettes more than one occasion. I know he probably ate your pack of cigarettes on more than one occasion. He ate Norm's cigarettes all the time. And he ate...
probably Mare's.
Yeah, I mean, we
probably
all
Mills.
smoked back then.
Everybody smoked. Dan's.
So dumb. Smoked in the
Simon's.
Smoked. No, Simon didn't have. Simon had.
Yeah, Simon didn't smoke cigs. I don't think.
No, he smoked blunts. But yeah, so. But he would do that. Doug, you introduced Clancy to beer, and you.
It was my job.
I don't think I've ever been mad at you, like in the entirety of our friendship, except for the one time you came over when my parents were out of town and you gave Clancy beer and then you left, and then the dog had explosive diarrhea all over the house the day.
Pretty sure you were having a house party. I'm pretty sure the dog was wearing a t-shirt and people were trying to put sunglasses on him. I just took the next logical step.
Right. And you fed him beer. And then he had like...
It was probably Mare's cherry wheat.
Yes. And Clancy would...
Sam Adams cherry
Clancy would take a dump, and it was gross because he was a 70-pound golden retriever. But I'll never forget. You fed him beer a couple times. And like when he got into that beer, he would fucking fart so disgustingly when he would take a shit. It was like an old man falling down the stairs, and I was just like, and that didn't even bother me. But the time he did it when we had the house party, and then the next morning I woke up to like piles of dog shit in the living room, and I had to clean the house, and I'm like, I was like, God damn it, dog. That's
dangers of hosting.
Yeah. That was I learned at an early age.
Everybody learns.
Hey, mom and dad are out of town. You guys want to come over? We'll barbecue and fucking
we'll print up some flyers Fuck it.
That was a crazy night, man. That was a crazy night. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
No, let's leave
back to the Mets if you want.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, hold on. We have a comment from Byford to Hobbit, which I'm assuming is your brother, or maybe it's Josh. I don't know. I'm getting Grimace tattoo with Mets hat if the Mets win the World Series in 2024. Well, thank you.
I love it. Fuck yeah, bro.
I think you should.
That's extreme.
Yes, we're gonna hold you to that. But
what's his name? Byford Hobbit.
Bifur, like Byfur. DA Hobbit, like duh Hobbit. I don't know.
Byford the Hobbit. Sure. Hell yeah! Welcome to the show, man.
Welcome to the show, Byford. But I think Iglesias was the other move that like we could have been. I think last year, if it's Epler, we're like, oh, we got Wendell. He's on a guaranteed deal. He's going to turn it around.
By the way, how annoyed was I about Wendell getting signed like the first week of the postseason? I'm like, why?
So mad.
This guy like hit 160 last year. What are we doing? But you're right. Stearns corrected course. But how about Harrison fucking Bader, man? Let's shout out this entire bottom of the lineup. Mark Vientos, of course, my boy. They're all mashing. It's great to see. And Bader with the glove. I mean,
everyone's got an over 700 OPS except for McNeil.
Yeah.
And there's just no real way to replace McNeil fully unless you go all in on Iglesias. But I think
you could work Beatty in if you want. I feel like he is a trade chip too, though. You know why? Because I think that if they felt he could play outfield, that would be his future. But the fact that they're not even trying that in AAA and DJ Stewart is still on this roster leads me to believe they don't see him as a left-handed outfielder. So,
right.
Yeah. Mark Vientos took the job, man. It happens.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Thank God one of them took the job and finally got the opportunity,
exactly.
Right. Like
that's how it should work.
We didn't need to see another. Who was our third baseman last year at certain points? I know we had Beatty at one point. They never really.
Beatty got a lot of at bats. You're right.
But who was it at the end of the year that was playing third?
Vientos had some at the end of the year too. No, you're right. We had somebody else though.
Right. That was nondescript. That was a waste of fucking.
I can look it up, but
it was not ideal. I can't remember who it was either, but it was like whatever.
No, it's been a problem since. I mean, Todd Frazier wasn't even that great. He was at the end of his career.
No, since David Wright.
Since David Wright, it's been kind of an issue.
So Vientos looks to have taken that job. He's improved his defense just like Alvarez, and he's hitting. And everyone's hitting over.
They're all hitting, which is,
except for McNeil. McNeil looks lost at the plate. He looks like he's trying to golf.
And there's just no pop. I know he had a nice hit yesterday. Let's hope he can build on it, but.
Yeah, man. I don't care about pop. I don't need you hitting home runs, dude. Just hit singles and bat ninth.
Or just get on base at that point.
Yeah, and walk. You're not walking, and you never really did walk.
At least Stewart walks.
Yes, Stewart has he's decent. He's not great, but I think we could upgrade him at the deadline. So let's talk about the deadline.
By the way, how quickly we've forgotten Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Well, they traded him at the deadline for like a bag of balls.
They had Tommy Pham last year. He raked.
He was the only guy on the team that hit last year, and he was the only guy on the team that cared. And I wouldn't mind making. I think he's on the Royals though, is he not?
He signed late to the White Sox. I don't know if he's already been moved again. Speaking of people, everybody hates apparly. He's another Jesse Winker.
Like the people in the team
clubhouse. Yeah, he punched someone on. Who'd he punch on the Giants over fantasy football?
He said the next time he saw Jock Peterson, he was going to punch him in the face.
That's right.
He actually punched him because Peterson did something in their fantasy football.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone hates Tommy Pham. Well, then we don't need to bring him back.
Everybody hates Jesse Winker too.
There's got to be a guy out there that's a left-handed outfielder that can come back and take DJ Stewart's place at some point.
I'm sure there is. I half pay attention to it, but there's like a guy on the Angels. I keep forgetting his name. It depends who's selling, right?
Right. And I think we're definitely going to be buyers though to the point at this deadline. I think you have to. You're hopefully going to go into the break 5 games over. And what
bat are you upgrading here?
I don't think you upgrade a bat. I think you upgrade Stewart's position. I think Iglesias is your backup, infielder. I think McNeil and Iglesias can figure out second base, and then you have Torrens, and they have Gamble. He's not
like Taylor has a job. Yeah, Gamble I guess can come or go. And then you got Stewart. Okay, yeah, you could get another bat here, I guess.
I think you go get a bench bat and someone that could, come off your bench and play right field.
Another Vogel chunk.
Yeah, because once Marte comes back, Gamble's going down, right? So, and then that solves that problem. But
I guess Marte is coming back. I never trust the over 30 guys with the muscle injuries, but
I thought it was his knee. But
all right,
whatever. Let's. He's been terrible defensively this year, but he's been hitting all right.
He can hit. Oh yeah,
yeah,
he can still hit.
So I don't see why we wouldn't plug him back in the right field. But what we really need, Doug, I don't think we really need a starting pitcher. I don't think we want to pay for a huge upgrade on a starting pitcher because we can just run it out with the guys we have.
Yeah, I'm not sure we need to, especially if Senga, who's pitching today, is back.
Can be back, and we can go to a 6-man rotation. To your point, I think we need 2 more bullpen arms immediately, and
especially a lefty. My God,
and talk about like what we don't need on this team is Adrian Hauser. Like he's pretty redundant now that
Butos stepped up
doing what Hauser should have been doing. Hauser's, I mean, I don't know what you can get for him because he was fucking god awful all year, but
I don't mind him as the last guy, mop up guy.
Then use
Butos
then use him that way and stop. I mean, Ottavino's become the mop up guy. So like,
yeah,
if we're gonna have 2 mop up guys and you're not, I mean, when was the last time Adrian Hauser pitched? I don't even know. Like,
well, no, I think you're right. I think he's now on the fringe here because you're not sending Buto back. By the way, David Peterson has become a man this year. He's stepped the hell up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going back. You still got McGill down there. Yeah, Hauser might not be long for this roster. He might just get dropped. They did try him with runners on, obviously, and he threw like the T-ball home run to immediately, right, to lose that game. So,
yep.
Vizcondias, if needed.
To Winker. It was to Winker.
No, that's right.
He threw it to Winker, yeah. Winker was like 10 for 11 against him in his career with like 6 home runs. And that was one.
Bring him in.
That was one where I was like, Mendoza.
Yeah, but I mean, they're out of pitch. They were out of pitchers at that point.
Yeah,
and they still kind of are. Vizcondias, Drew Smith. There's so many to do for Vizcondias later that I can start doing them now. Don't worry, we're not going to run out.
Reed Garrett probably needs time.
Reed Garrett, I mean, it seemed like he was being overused, and then lo and behold, he's on the IL. So that's why I'm worried about Nunez. As great as he's been. But
yeah, I think the nice thing about Nunez is he's younger. He's only like 26 or 27.
Yeah.
And B, he's a bigger guy. Like Reed Garrett was a small guy, and he just
he's just twisting off like
slider
spin
after slider,
and
spin
rate
splitter.
Like ridiculous pitches,
so
and your elbow's going to fall off.
Right at 30, and he's 30 years old. He's thrown a lot of minor league innings, so. I think I hope he doesn't need Tommy John. I hope he just needs like a fucking little break and get his arm back into shape because we could really use him for the second half.
Any help we can get. Sean Reed Foley come back. I mean, but they can also buy, and I hope they do.
I think we need to.
And
Phil Maton
maybe
Phil Maton. Yeah. Maton. I don't know how you say his name, but
no idea either.
That was
good start, I guess.
Cash cost us cash.
Nothing.
Cost us cash for Luis Torrens. Come on, these are good moves here. And
and that's why I was hopeful to start the year is because we can pick up these contracts for zero.
Yep.
Just for writing the checks. So, hey man, what are we? 49 wins, 41 to go.
Yeah. Then we'll be at your number, and then
what they have to go like what 41 and 26 or something to hit 90.
They can do it. They can do it.
It's not crazy anymore.
No, they can. If they win today, dude, we're only 4 games behind the Braves for the top wild card.
Yeah. And by the way, a game up in the playoffs right now. Holy shit.
Right.
Considering where we were 2 months ago. So
correct.
So it's a good time to be a Mets fan. I think you're right.
It's a good time to be a Mets fan. It's been fun to again, I put the games back on. I put the game.
Look at that. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
You can call me a fair weather fan if you want, but
we do.
I'm not going to invest 3 hours to watch poop. But now that we're fucking hitting and I'll always check the box score. I'll always look at the highlights, even if we win or lose. But I'm not going to sit through 3 hours when we're like having the May that we had this year. No fucking thank you. No thank you.
Yeah. I mean, Gary, Keith, and Ron can't save you at that point. But no, this team is back. This team can hit. I need to get down to Citi Field. I haven't been yet. I know we're going in September. We'll try to get down there before that too, though, because let's go. The vibes seem to be great. All us Mets fans, we come back for more every year.
Out in
droves, you got to love us.
Full house even though against the Colorado Rockies on a weekend.
I know, man.
Yeah, and fun again.
We got a hit song. We got a thing people hold up. We got dogs. We got McDonald's
characters,
mascots. We got rally pimps.
Yep.
We got Ben Gamble.
Yep.
Let's go Mets, baby.
So if you go down to a game early,
mm-hmm.
What is going to be your shtick? Are you going to dress up as something?
What do you think I should do? I don't have too many costumes here. I could be. I do have a very, very 70s leisure suit. I could be Disco something. Disco Doug.
Disco Doug. But is that too close to the rally pimp?
It might be. I might have to hang out with him, and he might not want that. So Doug will work on that. Hey, New York Islanders signed some guys.
Talk about it. What do you think about these Yeah, I do. I think, we haven't had a show in a while.
Yeah.
We signed Anthony Duclair, 4 years, $12 million.
The Duke.
Mike Raleigh, 1 year, $1.25 million.
Welcome back, bro.
Yeah, and
that's probably as good as you could expect here. So I think everybody's kind of happy.
I think we had $5 million in cap space. We have about $1 million left. I think we're not going to sign Clutterbuck or Martin, which I think is
although it's way too early to say Viacom Diaz to those two.
No, you can't say it until
the camp roster is announced. Yeah, with Lou, you never know.
I think Lou realized okay, we have Hudson Fasching, we have Julian Gauthier, and we have Kyle McLean. And
we got Siplikov, and we got Foudy, and we got the Stroms. Bye. Holstrom and Wallstrom. Although they don't want Wallstrom around. That salary is probably keeping them from doing so. They actually probably lost Iski because of Oliver.
I don't think so. I think they lost Iski because of Lee. Because we can't. Yeah. I'm sure we tried to move Lee at the draft.
Either way, numbers game, right?
We couldn't. A shame, we couldn't make it happen. And I saw it was funny. I was reading Arthur Staples' way too early projections at the Islanders, roster. That's what happens when it's extreme. And
yeah, thank you.
And so he's saying he projects Lee to be on the fourth line with Cizikas. And
I saw that
McLean, and I'm like, man, how do you have a $7 million guy on your fourth line? I don't believe that'll happen.
And I don't either, because I don't think he's good on the fourth line. If you want to have an energy line,
I think you can drop Holmstrom down there with McLean and Cizikas.
Absolutely,
you can play.
Lines are fluid anyway. Lee, I guess they might try to park out in front of the second power play, but yeah, if you can't get rid of the contract, he's going to be dragging the third line around.
Yeah,
or I guess Pajot's could be dragging him around.
Him and Pajot and Engvall can play on the third
line
together,
or Siplikov,
Or Siplikov.
We'll see what that guy is.
Line, it's going to be Palmieri, Nelson, and Siplikov, most likely.
Or Engvall.
I think Engvall is going to be on the third line finally.
Oh, he's better suited. I'm just saying for this team, though. Here's the thing, though. Duke can keep up with Barzy. That's going to be a fun line to watch.
Yes.
I know he's bounced everywhere, but if you look at why, it kind of makes sense. He took some money from the Sharks last year just to get a contract, and then was traded, again the year before, and blah blah blah. His knock though is he can't play in the playoffs.
Okay.
The upside is he played for Patrick, right? In juniors,
he played juniors for the Quebec Rembarts or whatever.
Yeah. So I think that was a really savvy signing, especially, hey, Lou, you didn't do a 7-year deal.
Yeah. Well, they're going to release the Clutterbuck deal, 7 years, $7 million.
Just to drive me crazy. I love Cal, man. Like, honestly, if anybody's going to get one of those, give it to him.
Yes. I think it's time to move.
Please don't,
guys. Yeah, don't. I think the roster's set up really nice. I think you got the top line is probably going to be Horvat with Barzy and Duclair, and that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams on a nightly basis.
Yeah, man. So, that's 2 really fast skaters on the first line.
Yes.
Plus Bo Horvat, who's a pain in the ass to play against. So
yes, it's a good first line, and then you got Nelson and Palmieri with either Lee or Engvall or Siplikov.
The old line, but sure. Yeah. Back again. Nelson scores 35 goals. Like, it's automatic. So
exactly. And that's
and you're right. Line. So we've shed the old fourth liners. We've shed a couple of like filler pieces. You hope Sorokin's back. You hope the blue line is good. And that's a playoff team right there.
Yeah. And I think we have enough depth now with, what's his name? Bolduc is going to be your new Aho, and he'll be your 7th defenseman. And I think it's a good way for him to learn. We've been successful developing defensemen that way over the course of Lou's tenure. We did it with Dobson the first year. He rode the bench for half the season, played a little more than half the games, but was on.
And no, I mean, even going back to Garth, Mayfield and Pelech looked like shit when they came up. Actually, Trotz turned them around. But
right.
Yeah. And there's another Via con Dios, Seabass. We hardly knew you. There's more to come. Sebastian Aho.
Oh yeah, he signed with the Penguins.
Penguins, yeah. Robin Salogon.
Where did he go?
Lost there. Europe too with Iski.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything. They still got to sign Holmstrom, and they got to figure out what to do with Oliver. But they're ready to rock.
Yeah. I mean that team is set. It's a playoff team if we don't get injured and crushed by injuries like we did last year. And I think I don't know if we can win the Stanley Cup, but I don't think we're going to be.
Could be a pain in the ass though. And again, we're coming from reasonable expectations here, knowing the cap, knowing the roster, knowing just everything. What Lou did, I give him props, is probably one of basically best case scenario for this team. Sure. They added and they didn't do anything dumb.
Yeah. I think they wanted.
Oh, and by the way, it looks like they had a great draft. I haven't even mentioned Yzerman, Bednarik, and Polkinen, and the 2 goalies. I don't pretend to know these prospects like some people do, but the people who do know them think the Isles had a really good draft.
Yes, Yzerman.
And when's the last time we could say that?
It's our first round pick since Holmstrom. I mean, that's crazy. Yep. 5 years without a first round pick. And this kid, very similarly, fell, and people thought he was going to go in the top 10, and then he fell all the way to 19 or whatever the fuck, 21, wherever we picked.
He can score.
He can score.
The question is he another Bellows or Wallstrom, or is he going to play a complete game? But I've heard he's actually got some fight in him, so I don't think this is another Wallstrom. We'll see. Yeah. It is weird that he dropped.
Yeah, it's definitely weird that he dropped, but we don't know. Who knows? So let's.
But I think he set the national development team record, though, right? Goals scored.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Which is like Jack Eichel went through there.
But the kid that we drafted, the Bednarik kid, is the 2nd round pick, was his line mate. So I think
they're going to play together at BU.
I think that's pretty cool.
And if Celebrini goes to college, I don't know if he will. But that would be like the first line. They would all be playing together. So that could
Celebrini?
be fun.
I don't know who that
the number 1 overall pick that went to the Sharks, like this year's Crosby.
Okay, so
this year's McDavid.
He's on the top line at BU with the.
I think he was committed to BU, but obviously he might just fucking
go to the Sharks. And,
take the money.
Take the money. There you go.
Get that ELC moving.
I mean, I don't know, man. I like what we did. I'm sure we tried to make a trade. I'm sure we tried to pick up one of these bigger wingers, and I'm sure we tried
or get rid of Pageau or Lee, but
yeah. And I just don't think nothing really made sense. We have the depth. We don't have to make a ton of moves. Let's fucking lose. Just wants to run.
They're going to be a decent team. I mean, the Rangers were stuck too because of the Trouba contract. Same thing. They couldn't really add anybody. They added Riley Smith. The Devils were aggressive. The Devils added Pesce and a bunch of forwards. Markstrom, obviously. I think they'll be dangerous again. The Caps were aggressive, but Carolina lost players. I didn't see Philly or Columbus move the needle much, although Columbus will be good eventually.
Eventually.
And then Pittsburgh, I don't know what they're doing.
They're
just being old too, like the Islanders.
But they're older. They're older.
They are somehow.
And they're not great. I don't know what Philly is doing. I don't think they're good yet. I don't think Columbus is good yet. Hopefully Carolina.
Not yet.
Yeah. The Devils made some good moves if they can finally gel, and now that they have a goaltender.
They're getting Dougie Hamilton back. They had some injuries last year. Yeah, that's a scary team. The Hughes brothers are a year older. Yikes.
And Jacob Markstrom's a good goaltender. He is not the shit that they've been running out in between the crease for the last 2 years.
Like I said, I think last time he reminds me a little of Varley. And those mid-30s goalies are fine, or early 30s goalies. They kind of run the league, so.
Right. So the Devils should be decent. The Caps, I don't love as much what they did. Like Logan, I think they got Logan Thompson from Vegas to be their goalie.
I'm not sure who's in that down there, but
I think that's who they traded for. They traded for Thompson from the Golden Knights.
I mean, they're aggressive. They're building around Ovi still, so they're going for it.
Right, they have to, but I don't know how good they were on the decline this year. I don't know if they.
Oh yeah, I'm not convinced they're gonna jump past the Isles.
No. But how about Barry Trotz, GM Barry Trotz making some moves, signing
completely unsurprising.
All the old wingers, yeah, interesting. Steve Stamkos now going to Nashville.
Oh, always wanted a chance at Steve on the Isles. I knew we weren't getting it, but man. Yeah, that's
it was 4 years ago when he signed his last deal when we thought we had a shot because we had some cap space and we were coming off like
post Tavares.
Exactly, but no.
But hey, man, Barry's gonna Barry's gonna do it right out there.
Yeah,
so who knows? Maybe they'll be my second team. The Ducks are still useless, right?
Yeah, they're not good. They're trying to like get really young and remove all their dead contracts. They have John Gibson's making like $8 million a year, and he's
Cam Fowler still out there? I'd love Cam Fowler.
I think so, but I'm sure they want.
Speaking of messed up draft picks, anyway, no one cares about hockey. You've been watching Hard Knocks. I have. I've made the effort.
No, but let's talk about it. I don't care about the Giants, but I've seen all the high notes of Shane and Brian Burns trade and Brian Dable.
It's just a lot of access, you get to see everything, and I guess that's always Hard Knocks, but it's kind of cool and it's your team. And what is cool is you got to see all the pre-draft interviews with the players. Like they had a camera in there. I thought that was kind of fascinating, like the shit they were putting like McCarthy and Daniels and Neighbors through. It's a job interview, right? So definitely check that out if that's interesting to you. If it was another team, though, I might not be watching either.
Right,
because it's still boring, like sports executives. Like they're not entertaining people. You know what I mean?
No, and then you hear what's the fucking announcer Liv Schreiber's like voice the whole time, and you're just like,
it's a little overly dramatic. Maybe it worked because of the Aaron Rodgers thing, but now it's like Ryan Dable. It's like, it's like B Team Rex Ryan guy. He's trying to be funny, but.
Exactly.
Put a plate of wings at the end of that 40, and I'll run a 4.2. It's like, okay.
Didn't he lose a bunch of weight too? Isn't that like the big thing? He's like,
he still looks fat. I don't know. God, I'll have to look closer.
Anyway,
he's got that head, right? He's always going to be like I can't imagine skinny Dable. That would be scary.
No, Skinny Rex was actually
Slender
the downfall.
That was
the downfall of Rex Ryan. He lost all the weight. He fucking got, the foot fetish thing came out about.
He should have leaned into the foot fetish thing. They just nipped it and been like, "Hell yeah, brother! I'm an American, red-blooded American. I love my wife's feet."
Yep. Instead of like trying to cover it up, like those were the two downfalls. He like lost a bunch of weight, foot fetish scandal, and then he went to coach the Bills for 2 years.
I'm not going to judge anyone for getting like that surgery. What do you ever call it?
Oh, he needed to
slim down.
It, man. He had to be 400 pounds.
But it is jarring when you're a public figure and then you're seen differently. Like Al Roker changed. Like who else is a good example of this? And I'm not putting it down, but you know what I mean. It's like
no, but I mean, you have seen all of the Austin Powers movies, and when Fat Bastard got the surgery in the movie, and then he was like,
"How could I forget this?
My neck looks like a vagina." That's what I mean. It's the fucking truth. When you lose all that,
those sequels sucked ass. Sorry,
they all had a place,
that's the extreme talking.
Yeah, they all had a place. I mean,
the first one is incredibly brilliant. I don't care, but
yes, there were cheap laughs in all of them, and that's what Mike Myers and Saturday Night Live did, and they got bigger casts. And it's funny because we were born in the 70s. My wife was born in the early 90s, and I can quote the first Austin Powers, and she remembers the last one, and that she's like,
"Oh God."
That's like her go-to Austin Powers.
Clash of Civilizations right there.
It's nice that we can connect over. She's all into the Goldmember one, and I'm like, that was the worst one, but I'm not gonna fucking shit on her parade if she likes Austin Powers. Come on.
I mean, I know we're at 75 minutes here, but I gotta jump on this. Guess, and I hate doing this because, like, as you said, people are born in different contexts. You shouldn't be like, "Oh my God, you haven't seen this movie?" But guess what movie Jenny finally watched last night that I put on for her? Iconic 90s movie, like mid-90s.
Billy Madison.
No, but same year. More violent.
More violent.
Bank robbery shit. She's got a great ass. Heat. Oh, yes. Wow. De Niro, Pacino, Kilmer, Waingro. Show Alex that movie tonight. She'll love it.
Dude, okay, so I haven't seen Heat in a long time myself. So yeah. I mean, I've seen it, but it's been years.
It's worth it just for the great ass part.
So
Pacino's out of control in this.
I mean, I'm sure there's cocaine everywhere. I try to show my wife old movies that I grew up on. So they just released Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yeah, Axel F.
on Netflix. Did you watch it?
Not yet, because I got shouted down. I was like, "Oh, I've heard that might be a good movie." And like one of the chats I'm on is like, "I heard it sucks." Fuck. So I'm like, and honestly, they're probably right because every time they dig up a grave like this, it doesn't go great, does it?
Eddie Murphy, everything Eddie Murphy's done in the last
30 years,
10 years has not been great. Like
20 years.
Coming to America 2 was fucking trash.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't bother.
I mean, Coming to America was one of my favorite movies growing up, so I did bother. And it was trash. And then he made this fucking movie called Candy Cane. He signed some deal with Prime.
Oh yeah, the Candy Cane Lane was pushed on us by Netflix very hard.
No, it was Prime, and it was.
Oh, it was Prime.
It took me 7 tries to finish it because I was like, I gotta finish this movie, and I'm like, this movie is so bad. And then he did that movie with Jonah Hill for Netflix. You People, I think it was called.
Isn't Jonah Hill not in a good place right now?
Yeah, it was same. Yeah, he was playing himself in the movie. It was
okay.
It was okay. And then
I think Drew Magary wrote a whole column about how bad Candy Cane Lane was. If you want to look that up.
I mean, dude, I believe it's column dedicated worthy how bad that movie was. I was just like, God. And it was the girl from 22 Jump Street, the bad girl. I don't know. She's the fat chick that I can't.
Oh yeah, no, I know who. Yeah, she's good. She's great.
Jillian Bell, I think her name is. I don't know.
I have no idea what her name
Anyway,
is. But,
anyway, she was terrible in that movie. It was just so. And then
it's probably the script, though. I mean,
yeah, the script was. It was like. I mean, that's the problem now with movies: the production, and they just write a script and they just push it out because the streaming services just want to get new content out there, and they don't care if it's bad because they got another movie coming out next week. And if it's like, dude, I get sucked into some of these Netflix movies now because they're getting bigger stars to do the movies.
There's like fucking Tommy Lee Jones shoot 'em up right now. Like these things pull big stars.
Yeah, I watched the Zac Efron Nicole Kidman movie, which I'm ashamed to say, and it was so bad. It was so bad, and the script was so bad. I watched it with my wife. Give me a break. But
okay. Oh no, okay.
You're like, okay.
Oh no, I have to watch like not have to because I secretly love it. But the Hallmark channel goes on late at night.
Really?
And oh yeah, did you know there's 35 different types of snowflakes? No. But only 34 have been documented.
So and this 35th?
This single lady who works too hard went to Christmastown to find the 35th and met the really hot snowplow driver, who's of course a single dad and looks like Jason Sehorn. And they embark on a mission to find the elusive 35th snowflake.
Was it in her vagina?
Spoiler alert.
Douglas,
do we have a lot of title opportunities. What was it, like hot dog based alcohol, 35th snowflake?
Yeah, I think.
What are we doing today?
Do we want to talk about the New York Knicks? I mean, you're not a huge basketball fan, but they did some
I could probably keep up with you if you want to take the lead.
I mean,
extreme.
You made a trade for Mikal Bridges, 5 first-round picks.
Oh my goodness, they're all. It's all. Brunson took pay cut, right?
Brunson just signed an extension with a pay cut. He left like $80 million on the table to make sure that the team could afford to stay together. You don't.
How can you hate this guy? Can't hate him.
I mean, dude, I actually saw this the other day, though. You will dislike what I'm about to say, but like Brunson takes a pay cut and they're like, he's the greatest player ever. How can you hate him? Let's build him a statue.
Yeah, that's the easy take.
Aaron Rodgers did the same thing last year and everyone still hates him. So let's
I think probably for other reasons, I'd imagine. But
so let's talk about that. Why do you hate Aaron?
I don't hate him. I just think he's a clown.
Why do you think he's a clown, though? Why do you think he's a clown?
I don't know. Just listen and talk.
But about what, though? Like his political stances or the COVID? Like what is it about Aaron Rodgers that you find clown?
If he's so team focused, he shouldn't be like just I don't know. He's got celebrity brain. He's infected. He needs to continue to put takes out. He gets invited on shows. I'm sure he gets paid a lot. And he's gotten sucked into this vortex, and it's going to be his identity. It's becoming his identity. And it's unfortunate because he used to be he is still an all-time quarterback, but it's distracting everybody. And it's at the worst possible time coming to New York to try to resurrect a moribund Jets franchise. And it's stupid. And a lot of the things he says are stupid.
Okay. That is a...
sorry, you got a real answer there. I didn't think I had it either.
I want a real answer. I don't disagree with you. I don't know if he has celebrity brain or if he's just a good... think about
I don't have a good grasp on how to describe that brain, but like the poster's disease, like Elon Musk has it too. Like if you're the center of attention too much... Yeah, you lose grip.
He admitted he got paid $1 million to go on the Pat McAfee show once a week. I don't know if that was per episode or, for the season, right? For 15 minutes, you're telling me you wouldn't
of course
go on a show
would.
for $1 million? Of course you would.
I don't think it helps your argument that he's being selfless to take less money because he's getting all this fucking money. Is Jalen Brunson getting that?
I don't know. And yes. That wasn't my point. I kind of switched topics here. I don't care about the selfless part anymore. I just think, dude, you're as a quarterback, I want my quarterback to be arrogant and the man. Like as much as I hate Brady, that's who he was, right? Brady wanted the ball in the final 2 minutes. and he wanted to march down the field and shove it up your fucking ass and talk shit to you. And
so did Eli, by the way. Haha.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't think Eli was a little bit more humble, but I mean, if I never see another Toyota commercial with Eli Manning fucking talking about a Tacoma, it'll be too soon.
But they're following us for life, both of them.
Yes. So I think you realize as a quarterback you have a small window. It's also a career. Like your career is going to end at some point as an athlete, and that is
he could do whatever he wants. And again, I'm not mad at him. I just think he's his clownish behavior sometimes.
I mean, if you disagree with his points of
or
view,
like not showing up to something, it's like, okay, are you bought in? You're not. That's all.
I disagree with that take, only from the standpoint that from what I've read, he got injured. He booked this trip, and he told the Jets, I'm going to be doing this trip to, I think he went to Egypt. I'm doing this trip to Egypt June 1st through the 5th. And then they went and booked minicamp the same dates after he had already booked the trip. Like,
okay. I can hate on the Jets too. That's easy. That right. Sounds stupid.
And it's like, it's not, sometimes it's them. Like that was dumb. And
yeah, I believe that.
Why wouldn't you just not do like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll just like do it without you. Like, no, now you've created this whole fucking story that wasn't a fucking story.
This is a fair point. The Mets used to do this to guys all the time too, and turn guys into bad guys because of their incompetence.
Right. So, and I don't think that the Jets, I think it's their incompetence. I don't think they were trying to turn Rodgers into a bad guy. I just think they didn't think it was going to be a big deal. But hello, you're fucking.
They should know better.
Media capital in the world with the most polarizing quarterback in the NFL that people.
And you just had Hard Knocks.
Like it didn't make any sense to me. And once all the shit came out,
and we're 10 years ago was that stupid Tebow run through the rain shit. Right.
It's just, I don't even know what that is, but dumb, just fucking dumb, dude.
Johnson needs to know better. Maybe Woody loves this shit. I don't know.
And that's who has celebrity brain, my friend, is fucking Woody. Woody loves any reason to be in the fucking media. He's definitely of the ilk. All publicity is good publicity, good or bad, because they're talking about the Jets.
It's the theme of our century. All of us here, we're living through
it. They drafted Jalen Key, last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, and they did the whole fucking stupid thing out here in Newport last week or 2 weeks ago, and they sent their fucking beat writer out here to cover it. Because they just wanted the publicity. That guy's probably not even going to make the team, but they wanted all this publicity. They wanted the Mr. Irrelevant Jet guy out here because Brock Purdy did it a couple years ago, which, by the way, it's pretty cool. They do this, dude. They do this fucking party for him every year. I've been, and they take him to all the bars.
I have no problem with that.
And I've been, a couple years ago, I was at Mutt Lynch's when they were parading around the guy on a fucking Saturday. I don't know who. It was probably like 8 years ago at this point. So
it's a tradition. I had no idea that was a.
Yeah, it's a fucking tradition, man, for 30 years. And Brock Purdy's
Mr. Irrelevant,
the guy that put it back on the map, right? Because I don't think there's many.
Biggest graduate,
yeah, the biggest graduate, exactly. So, all right, Dougie, it's been good. It's 9:30. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
This is one of our longer ones.
We needed to catch up. We
did. A lot going on. So
who we got to say bye to?
Oh, we got a long list today, Mike. Vaya con Dios. So many legends from the 80s and 90s. Vaya con Dios. Shannon Doherty.
This morning.
Vaya con Dios. One of my New York City sidewalk celebrity sightings is now dead. Dr. Ruth. Vaya con Dios. Legend. Richard Simmons, Vaya con Dios. No one under 40 remembers him, but holy shit, he was always on TV back in the 80s. And who's the last one? Oh, Shelley Duvall took us on a ride in The Shining. And shout out to Popeye, which is a much better movie than you remember.
Yes.
Vaya con Dios. All legends.
Yes. All right. Well,
you got anybody? We forget anybody?
I don't think we ever did Willie Mays.
I meant to do Willie last show. We keep canceling these things, but
yes,
yeah.
All right,
say it ain't so.
Well, Douglas, it's been a great show. It was fun
as always,
and hopefully we can get this back on next week. And
hopefully
from there. All right,
extreme.
Until next time.
Bloop.
we're good. We're good. What do we want to call